Do not insist on being most in love with him to marry him in comparison to anyone else that you've been with. If anything, ex-boyfriend yam, while I loved him more than I liked the other guy, I did not love him the most out of all the guys I'd ever been with. The guy that I did love the most, actually I'm not really sure between two guys, but one of them was just so freaking crazy that and I knew that I couldn't be there. Like, it's the one. It's the one. One nomsa. Who Bobby volume 2.0? Who Bobby volume 1.0? Who Bobby 1.0? The one all na jaiva le Madimabi, my cousin, le the other girl. Arambile. That guy booked into Formula 1 hotel with Madimabi and my cousin and some of his other friends, and they played I'ma spin the ball nama in ingeko. And still to this day I think Madimabi or my cousin or both slept with him that night. That was that guy, the one that I had some of the strongest feelings for. I loved him more than my ex for 5 years. He passed away in a car accident though. By the time he died, I wasn't too hung up on him though. But my first love also held my heart quite strongly. That broke my virginity. And that one was a little bit more stable, but there was no way we could ever be together because so sometimes the guy that you felt the strongest about is in the past and you can't possibly be together. Or he is just so rotten that you literally don't make no sense at all to be with him. So you can't run with the one that you love the most. You can't run with the one that's the issue with recreational dating. Ni fall in love nabantu, ni jola, ni ba nama feelings nabantu. Bese la you are with somebody that is very reliable, responsible. And you're like, but I don't love him as much as John. John una go cheatela, o no le regte ya gage, ona go ala di shiri kaofela mo Soweto. And happy John, o se kila cheata go pela go wena pela di chomi sa gago. O bo disappoint fela ke taba hore a o siana cheata ka yena le yena. That's all that disturbed your peace. I'm sorry, we understand that John was your biggest love, but John was a mess. That can't be out your no baby daddy, can't be out your especially no husband, and can't be anybody taking care of a household. John. Uzolala nama prostitute, John. Uzopuka ema hoteleni nabo taking chicken aba loose. John uzokunikeza igonorrhea neclap. John uzokunikeza ingculaza. So it don't matter that you love him the most. And John, precisely because umthanda the way that umthanda ngakhona, angena maitseo, angena ma scruples. John uzokucheckisa into a psychiatric hospital cause manje so yahlanya cause of John. So tlogelang Bobby John. Let go of Dogo John. Motlogele. I like the saying yauri, a lot of people mabachata, they don't marry the person that they've loved the most, but they marry the person that they're ready to they marry the person that they're with at the time when they're ready to get married. That's not necessarily problematic. One of the biggest reasons why you don't marry the guy that you loved the most is because you are living in the 21st century where you are just jollaring like it's and manje teenage passions are haughty. So your biggest and most pompous love, frankly, tends to come from when you're just a teenager. So I mean, are you gonna marry that high school jock that now is isiboto, is Kenyayo? No, you're gonna marry a guy that can responsibly care for you as a woman. That's why that's why today Langpulai, and that's why Monawalona has made you indifferent to Indabeguti. Listen, I'm very important for your gangster issues. Very. So I've made my own mistake where okay, indeed it was an error to a certain extent, but I mean, what is with the rebound? Why didn't I take a break before Ngijola? God, but that guy would have waited for me. Not on Keme. When I told him 6 months, and then be like, okay, so can we go on a date? I was supposed to just let myself heal, but I didn't have the strength then. I needed the Holy Spirit. I needed God. Those are the kinds of guys that you need God to overcome. You need the creator of the universe. Success. I needed to give my life to God and let him heal me, and that's what eventually happened. Thank you. It would be a few more years from that date, but it finally happened. It finally did happen. I succeeded, but it was through Christ. So I mean, listen, and this thing yoguti at least rechte nyaya Lord John Lona not Joel, my Bobby volume 2.0, the boyfriend that looked like a puppy. When I saw him on the last day after finishing in Tiwa Konklung, when I looked at him, because I carry Kilarato and Omrato Pala Ole Omusileng Morajo that likes you a lot, Oling stable. Look at him looking all sorry, because I know that you love too much. But let's email, and they tend to also love you very much too, Mara, not enough to be responsible. And so Makakala, Masa emails not only are you going to be getting weighed down by your feelings for him, but by just the fact that he is so sad. You're going to be weighed down by Ndabeguti or sad. He's so sad. He was so sad. He looked like a little, like I said, puppy nje ethelwa ngamanzi or ikati. Khe wabona ikati mayithelwa ngamanzi. Ikati inhle when its fur is all out and it's all clean. Mara ukayithela kametsi nkare yagula. Even when it's healthy, they just looks. The body is so skinny of a cat. The body is so ugly when its fur is not all grown out. He looks like a cat that has had water poured on it, and that just makes you feel so sorry for it. For him. He looks like a wet cat. If you just blow dry him, he'll come back up again and his fur will be out and he'll look so cute again. I looked at this guy looking so sad, so sorry. And let's get back together, please, because I'm fed up. Azangwa negotiate that shame. What he had done was extreme. What he had done was extreme. I took him back. He didn't ask because he knew I wouldn't say yes. He knew that he had done too much. But I felt so sorry for him. I felt so sorry for him. I came in this empty apartment, echoing. Furniture's gone. Only the harden is in the bedroom. Because one last night, my pillows on the floor on them. So akusana my springs on bed. The man just with a back problem. I felt so bad for him. I just looked at him and I was like, oh goodness. And that's when I was like, but why are you like this? Like, what the heck is wrong with you? I looked at him and I was like, why are you like this? Why did you do what you did? At which point then he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I've missed you. I shouldn't have done it. I don't know what came over me. I love you. I don't want us to break up. We can't just part ways. Like, there's too much between us. And I was like, but why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Like, why? Everybody's crying. And I'm like, but like, how could you do something like that? I mean, like, come on. Like, even then in front of everybody, I had to call your mom. Dude, I went to the police station. Baby, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I'm so sorry. I know then, I mean, at that stage, like, I was gone. Also coupled with the fact that there was slight guilt in me over the relationship I was having with the other guy. Ole, the more stable one. There was guilt in me over the relationship I was having with the other dude. And I had allowed myself to get all riled up and pent up with passions over somebody I couldn't be with. So umzimba wam was also awry. Let's just leave it at that. So I was like, yeah, type sort of thing. And honamo on the floor right there, we did what people in the world do when they are Jamaican up. And yeah, we fornicated and we got back together just like that. Just like that. And I remember afterwards I was like, oh, now they're on the floor after everything. I was like, but I don't want to be here. I said it to him. I said, but I don't want to be here. And then he was like, he was like, like just on that cold bed where we're sleeping on just continental pillows. He was like, because I said to him, but I don't want to be here. And he was like, at which point I was like, listen, that's all I was saying, okay? Let's just sleep. And indeed, the next morning, I guess I took the rest of my pillows, took them to my mom's house, and he went now, and we reconciled. We were back together. Yeah, we were back together. Like, listen, I wasn't ready. Like, what am I gonna do with these strong feelings? What am I also gonna do with Ngabeguti? I'm quite sure if I should leave. And listen, what am I gonna do with it? Like, I have to. I said in myself that I have to give him a chance, because if I don't give him a chance, what? Am I gonna just let myself feel this and just go through it? Like, then just go, what? Must I just feel it? Who that you wanna be with wants you? Are you just gonna not cave to that? So, I mean, I caved. And we got back together. And a few months down the line, I got my own apartment this time around, because I couldn't stand living with my mom. And I was also like, listen, once you have your own place, Bukamea hotels is just annoying. Yeah, so I got my own apartment and that became the thing that we then did. And that lingered the relationship another 2 years, but it did eventually end. Because the guy just, like, yeah, never came around. So, oh, I forgot. I get a Stefe. I'm sorry to have to call her that, but that's what she was, an irritant to me. After the second time, that's why I guess the relationship lingered another 2 years, right? The second time, I guess the first time was the coyotes and the hyenas, and the tumbleweeds in the apartment, and the papa that smelled bad, and the Stefe. The second time was the money stealing, and but why are you doing this? And the police station and whatnot. Like, the situation was that dire. After the second event, after the second time, basically, when he messed up like that with us living together, he made a decision that, okay, to prove to me, because I knew at that stage I was like, but what am I supposed to do over here? I mean, like, why are you like this? And whatnot. Obo Ninja fella, he's on thin, very thin, like excruciatingly skinny ice and Listen, the guy put his foot down with Stefe. He put his foot down with Stefe and said, listen, you need to stop calling me. You need to stop hollering at me. I've got a girlfriend now and she's picking a bone with you and I don't want to lose her. And he stopped drinking. Listen, he stopped drinking. He was sober while I was drinking, yo. He was a designated driver, yo. Like what? So because he changed, and this time something so hectic as alcohol. Like my man, that was like a whole leaf that he was turning. I guess that's why the mother liked me so much, because I actually had that kind of influence on the brother. You know what I'm saying? He turned a leaf, and so this time I felt comfortable. Luguti, okay, listen, you quit booze for me, and you also told like Steph, UTCC again, after I'm you need to leave me alone because I got a woman. All along, she was being told by everybody else, but the guy's got he's got a girlfriend. What do you want him to do? Stay single for you, type thing. This time around, he is the one that put his foot down with Istef and Azang Lestrefeles. For the rest of our, the last 2 years of our relationship, the last 2 years of our relationship was a Stefe free. And I remember one time we bumped into the Stefe at some restaurant where we were out, one of those nighty restaurants. We were there, and Stefe was there. Ustrefe wafika wayobuyilisa yena on some hi Bobby volume 2.0. Hi Bobby. And Ustrefe just looked at me I'm sharing his boyfriend. I didn't care. I was like, you don't like me, I don't care. I don't like you either. I don't like you either. You were in my hair. You were all up in my hair like some ticks. And now I'm not scared of you anymore. Because he got rid of you for me. I'm not scared of you anymore. I was happy. But then he wreaked havoc. Again. So when I say Uguti, stability is more important. Proven track record of stability from the very get-go and in a maintained consistent capacity is all you got. Otherwise, you're going to end up with this angry black woman phenomenon where you would have had to write out so much trash from a guy that one of those women. You will end up being one of those women that are merely content. Within Dabayoguti, you came from some rough times and this guy nearly put you in the grave the way he was so full of indiscretions, but you got through it. That nearly put you in the grave with his indiscretions. Track record. Yagulimaza to a point where he nearly ended up in the grave himself. You are not that loose cannon. It was him. So a relationship that has gone through the most and came out on the other side all right. If at all the most that was endured was the woman alone, what the heck, we are the fairer sex, is not supposed to be that way. If that after 30 years of marriage, then finally say now because I guess your bones are too arthritic to do better, that's not a goal. That is not a milestone that has been reached. That's not ding, ding, ding. That is not a success story of a marriage that has survived trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations are both of you going through hell. Trials and tribulations are somebody having cancer and then entering into remission. Trials and tribulations are death of a child. Trials and tribulations are with drug use of a child. Trials and tribulations are delinquent activity, disrespect, irresponsibility of a child. Trials and tribulations are job loss and retrenchment, home repossession. Trials and tribulations are car accidents and somebody being in a coma for 4 months. Trials and tribulations are somebody being in a wheelchair. Those are trials and tribulations that if you come out on the other side in a marriage, it lasts there for years. On some, at your 80th birthday parties, at your 70th, 60th birthday parties, being like, yo, we've come through a lot. That's what makes for a healthy marriage that has survived the most. Trials and tribulations are not the woman perpetually enduring infidelity, the woman just nearly leaving and then coming back, the woman striving to keep everything in a bunch, the woman dealing with a guy that's always gambling, the woman, that's not a trial and tribulation. That is just an abusive man that had a woman that was in Bokoto, that had a woman that was like a man of steel, a woman that was much too strong for a woman who took a lot of trash, and then finally, because dude, like I said, now he's got arthritis or Parkinson's disease or ALS. He's no longer wreaking havoc. Trials and tribulations are endured by both parties, not just the woman. And these guys in Batanda Ogundrula, anybody that you've ever intended, sometimes endure you through trials while they go through life gliding in apology after apology after apology after apology until finally he is too tired to keep on landing mistresses. Plus they don't want it because I need to say gugile manje but madlis sis. So therefore, wabona pelo eyaka feeling this way. I've been sharing these things and women been out here ignoring me, trying to act ngati. I on the come up had abangani abathathe enye ehectic inyongo from amadoda. And I was the one out of bonabon that was happy to vocalize it very transparently. Facebook yakho. Mengisho mina if mengajabuli abantu were like, you're too transparent. I guess they don't make us the same. But they basadi ba khotlela nyoko ba vele ba thule nje fela ba shape statue. I'm not one of them. I never was. And when I was 17 years old, I prided myself in being rechte. Later on, I expected a little bit more. I did. But in spite of expecting a little bit more, all that it achieved for me when I lamented and complained about not getting all that which I wanted in a man was to cause him to strategize differently that he might not keep losing me. Wanting his bread buttered on both sides, but it did not make him a better man. Kodwa, ukhala kwami and acknowledge ukuthi angikho content, angikho comfortable with a situation nje le eboleka buhlungu nje na, angikho content. Me vocalizing that made women be like, who do you think you are? At least ready-made, at least at least the damages, at least keep baby mama, your girl, keep you at least. Mina seen this at 26 and I was able to say keep you at least. I got born again and I saw it's not necessary to go and blom in a shubified situation here. I'm going to blom no shuba mina lebal. So in my chest ever since I was a kid. As a kid, I was ignoring it. My default setting, rapping on a rooftop. For being raw in my honesty about how I be feeling about stuff. You were taking in nonsense. Ever since you were in your 20s, many tata lenyongo. Irresponsible behaviors of their boyfriends, lack of romance, lack of uprightness, upfrontness, lack of availability. In the days of every 3 days, you're in a relationship, it should be every day, a couple of times a day. How's that a relationship? How's that I need some space? It's too much, it's too close for comfort. Do you call your husband every 3 days if he's on a business trip? Do you? A relationship should be unto marriage. You don't content yourself in after 2 days. What is he doing in that 2 days and why doesn't he miss you? Ever since I was in high school, I've been out looking at these chicks dating dudes that call them after 3 days and I was like, Nina 17, Nina boyfriend, echitayo hure like us. But he calls me every day, every single day. And I don't understand why you don't expect that. Before I'm phoning every day, una sabat. And so after nanzege mufonela, asang phone, I would then stop calling him. Magundula 5 days, he would call me and be like, wow, utotsi. The heck, I'm the woman, why aren't you calling me? I knew when I'm phone, so why should I call you? Because he realized he was 5'2" losing me, he then decided to also 35 rand like I in my public phones. I'm looking at 5 rand I'm phoning even if it's just for like 2 minutes that 5 rands will buy him every single day. Budget either airtime or public phone. I'm phoning every day. A player of note. And busy was starting very impressive. I demanded it from high school, and when then in my class there was this chick talking about how it's okay if a guy calls you every 3 days, every 4 days. I was like, what is he doing that whole time? Why doesn't he miss you? I mean, you do know that romantic love is quite intense, right? How does a guy feel that strongly about you and not call you daily, even then a couple of times a day? Is it too clingy? I guess that's what husbands are then, right? Is it too clingy? I guess that's what wives are then, right? If at all you call your husband even though you live with the guy, baby, how you doing? Nah, I'm cool. Are you eating lettuce with your croissant? Boring conversation, don't nobody care. Oh, my scalp is itchy, I don't know what's going on. If you're gonna be calling your husband just to let him know that your scalp is itching, he can find that out at home. Why in the world don't you expect that from a guy that could become your husband out of a boyfriend? Call him at work. I mean, listen, how many of y'all have husbands out there in the wilderness that you don't call during the day at work? Even just to let each other know that I've got an eyelash in my eye. That's how it is in marriages. Even though you do you're not dead quiet for the whole day until you get back home and then be like, anyway, hey baby, you call him all day, even if it's just to let him know that your boss that I told her is only going to be Juga Wednesday. She's on my neck. That's a marriage. That is a marriage, right? So, what is the purpose of jola other than to make you have feelings as strong for abantu that cannot love you? Instability. Hey, dating should be for the purpose of ukchat. Y'all shouldn't be fornicating. Therefore, if a person that you are newly dating, I'm going to Korea, thank God. Korea mina, Zinger. Korea dating culture yako teng batho ba re hectic go hard no kuda Apparently, too much. And I'm like, it's my perfect spot. It's my perfect zone. It's my perfect environment. Because apparently, allegedly, in Korea, everybody over there just love bombs all the day long. Abantu ba-expect ukuthi ukuphi. Bazobuza, what are you doing now? Oh, where are you going tomorrow? Who are you going to be there with? Oh, I miss you 4, 5, 10, 20 times a day. At night, oh, he's the last person on the phone that you're with. That's their dating culture. And when people being interviewed about how do you feel about Korean dating culture, and these people from the US, Western culture, Europe, everywhere, saying, oh, it's too much, they call each other all the day long. And they be out here being the last people they talk to at night. And they be out here texting each other all the day long, love bombing. And it's just too much. And sometimes the guys and the girls, you be seeing them walking around in these streets wearing matching shoes and some matching like shirts or whatever. It's childish and it's giving anime. And I'm like, you think that's childish? You think that a dude that you have just fallen in love with, texting him all day and all night, you think that's problematic? That's how it was with this guy and I when we first started dating. I remember the first week of us dating, I had indeed just started working at Brown Park for Nedbank, and I was on training for my job. And go training, it's not like go desking, so you have to put your phone away. That's how it used to be back in the day. Now these days people allow you to have your phone on you on training because the times are changing, technology is becoming part and parcel of the work environment. But back then your phone was just a hindrance, a disturbance. It was not part of your work, especially when you're working in a call center. So you had to put your phone away. And during training you've got like 3 hours of training, and then you've got a tea break. You've got like 4 hours of training again, and then you've got a lunch break. You get my point. That's how it goes, right? And in that time you can't just use your phone. Because my ex and I were just so in love. Yeah, anew. Because we were so in love anew. Every time when the facilitator would give us a tea break, every time he would give us a leg stretch, a bathroom break, I wouldn't go to the bathroom, I wouldn't go for a leg stretch, I wouldn't go for anything. I would go for my phone, and I would find all these text messages from my boyfriend. Different random silly things. Like, I miss you, I love you, I can't wait to see you. And listen, I could not get enough of just watching, of just reading every last one of them. I didn't feel like you're on the moon lona. He's breathing heavy. Carbon dioxide. I can't. I didn't feel that. I was chuffed. I was happy. I was happy. And I knew with every tea break I was gonna get those 10 text messages. I knew that that there was no way that I was gonna something. Never. Every lunch I was responding to text messages. Every tea I was responding to text messages. Every bathroom break responding. And it was like that from the beginning. I ain't lying, from relationship until we broke up, until we pair. I guess that's the reason why we couldn't stay broken up. When you get used to that kind of relationship and that kind of attention and those kinds of passions and that kind of dependency and reliance on each other's affection and love, anymore coming through. There's no more buzzing every 2 seconds. No mulele. How was saying that text message, good morning, baby. Or you try it. You're gonna think a dude either has been in a car crash, an accident, or he's comatose, or ushonile. Manje, however, when you bring that ushona on board, because now nyahlukana, that's why umuntu ni break up aba nevai gukhalwa. Oh, you gonna tell me it's over just like that? All right, yeah. That's how my ex-boyfriend and I were in the beginning of our relationship, all the way to the end. That guy went to your loss, drop a bullet, drop a bomb. He lost the worst thing he could ever lose. We in his ear, and every so often he lost his mind. Waba mentally ill altogether. It's very weird to me. And then of course there is the puppet on a string out here, witchcraft. He lost the best thing that ever happened to him, type establishment thing. But you see, the way that our relationship was, apparently that's how it is in Korea. Apparently kunjalo laphaya. I didn't know. Utama Asian kunjalo laphaya. Dating culture yabo. Ama Americans, ama Europeans, etc. Bonke bathi ku hectic too much. We need time to breathe in a relationship to get to know. If you really want to be with a guy, you don't want to be bombarded. Babies are love bombing. It's not love bombing when it doesn't stop. It's only love bombing when it starts in the beginning, and then a guy just tapers off and starts to manipulate you psychologically because now you've been hooked. Like if you start dating a person and they don't text you, who weird? Why? Because is that not how it is with your wife and your husband? You're always texting him about where's the children's shoelaces. Oh no, I just dropped off Johnny at school. In traffic, if at all you've got a hands free, you're talking with your wife on your way to work. Now I'm gonna go get tea. I'm at the coffee shop right now. I don't know what's giving. It's taking a little bit long and I'm about to go into a meeting now. I feel like I'm gonna pass up on the coffee. Kunjalo nomfazi wakho. Kunjalo, guys. And that women think it's okay in Jafela to have a guy not respond to a WhatsApp for 3 hours. If a man is in love with a woman, noma a busy ure, back-to-back meetings, conference calls, chatting meetings, gym, uzojima petty phone yakutshela manje, just to say I miss you. I'm out here pumping steel. Like, listen, I'm getting my hours in. Just to let you know. Or even if it's a text message, like emoji, just one emoji. It's enough to keep a woman understanding, okay, he's thinking about me. Nice. If a man really loves a woman and he wants to make her his wife, where falling in love, you're all high shit. You could be busy, like no man's business, studying for exams. But how na ntwe dumang more in your heart and in your mind than umuntu omthanda. Nothing is more pronounced and prominent and prevalent in your whole body than that person. So though you are out here focusing on your exam that's coming, or even e-meeting or e-presentation that you are preparing for kusasa, it's almost as if though whatever it is that you do with your presentation, however much data or detailed information you put into your slides, you use those as the hard labor and the reward at the end of the 5th bullet point that your brain has out here manufactured from your ingenuity. Your reward after all that hard work with your brain steaming is to text the person that you love and let them know I miss you. It is to text the person that you love to let them know that I miss you. I'm busy doing this presentation and it's out here breaking my brain. It's kicking my butt, but hey, it feels all better like a bandage because I got you. I don't want nobody, baby, if I can't have you. Oh. It's a reward. The passions you feel for somebody you love are enough to function as a reward in the middle of a lot of work. I love Jesus and I love my ministry, and I've been doing this TEFL course, and because of all of y'all's attacks on my mind, some days, because I know that I have to cover umsebenzi wami TEFL before I can watch a video on YouTube about the gospel, about Jesus, about anything about the Lord. The trudging through the forest of getting through the course, because you did that to me. In the beginning it was smooth sailing, but then you attacked my mind, and the trudging through the course. I looked at it as I'm going to be rewarded by engaging with Christ afterwards. I'm going to be rewarded. So I go through the slides, I go through the page, the content, the material, moving from page to page to page. Though it's rough, because it's not what I would rather do, because my heart is somewhere else. But I know that I'm going to be rewarded with doing that which I want to do, that which I love. So it becomes positive reinforcement, like a sweetie at the end of a child doing really well in school, like a star on the forehead. So therefore, I go through the trudgery of academic material just so I can get to the thing that I really want to do eventually. And that's how love is. Love, just as I love Christ, just as I love my ministry, just as I love, what do you call this thing? Researching that which I want to research, rather than go through a course and studying how to teach English as a second language. Because that which I love is a lot more rewarding than that which I have to go through in order to get to certain other space. I then create a system of reward and punishment that basically says, if you don't go through your course, you're not going to enjoy watching your content or even researching anything on Christ or listening to something that is edifying online. You're not going to enjoy any of that. If you just go straight to the things of God. If you just go straight to the things of God, because you haven't done umsebenzi that's going to set you free out of this rut, you're not going to feel good about watching that, because then you're going to feel like a bum. You're going to feel lazy. But if you study and then reward yourself with this other content, now it feels really nice because you love this other thing more than you love studying. So therefore, the love of your life becomes a motivation to do that much better in the middle of what it is that you're doing, because you get rewarded by knowing that at the end of it all, you're going to get to be with them. So umuntu that is in true love and is not out here playing games as he will not ignore umuntu that is the object of his affection the whole day without texting. Unless, of course, the establishment that they're at requires that their cell phones be left far away from them because they're crunching. They're in some war room, and so there's no getting to their phones at all. Otherwise, insofar as this individual can at any given time check their text messages or their emails, they're not going and check number one first, the email that comes from some random whoever, not even their mom. They will literally go for the woman that they're in love with. So if at all your relationships don't look like that and they end up in marriage, what do your marriages look like? It's no wonder your husbands prefer to be with mistresses than with you. There are things that are worth the while to wait for. So in daughter that called you after 3 days and you end up married to him, or a dude that could respond to your text, your WhatsApp after 5 hours. 5 hours. How? So dating culture yako Korea For me, it was like, listen, to me, this is normal. Though people out here talking about how it's too much. The world doesn't love, I guess. Because of an increase in lawlessness, the love of many has grown cold. But I have been saying it time and time again, that Western culture has influenced us a lot because it's superpowery now. But the world in totality is not gone. Everybody is not lost. Everybody in the world has not been taken over by a woke virus. Everybody has not been taken over by a cold, tepid atmosphere of relationshiping in the human race. There are people who still understand what love is supposed to look like. And Western culture, right next to some crazy people full of reverse psychology, are out here of the imagination that what is going on that is normal in other parts of the world is too much. To a point where you would think that it's cringe and tacky for a dude to wonder, but why haven't you texted me in 5 hours? What's going on? Are we still cool? And then you think he's clingy? Fine. If you think that's clingy, go with your weird relationships. Go. If you think that's clingy, hambani na your weird relationships nina. Mina ngiyafuna le cling yakhona, like it's cling wrap, like the sandwich wrap. I want that cling. And it's all, frankly, I know. The only relationship that I was in for a long amount of period of time was like that. It was like cling wrap. And as a result of it being like cling wrap, we got attacked by a whole bunch of witchcraft coming from extraneous environments, and the guy himself unahana who acknowledge urono tsa hala ka mohare abaqena nje fela ang rabasitse ang tshwatlileng ka ke galas ambani nina nyo deny it cling rap yen ambani deny it, deny your desire for the cling rap lankutwa, deny your desire for it, but do not then maseni middle-aged lehlang le gatsetse manyalo nga sa etseng sense. Everybody in the fellas na tabali each other. Beletlo za maotlo bora karabo by making me a mistress al katamo. Beletlo ngwara la tabora kina le 41, going on 42. And so therefore I'm too picky for somebody this age. I don't want any of y'all. Cause y'all don't know. You don't care nothing. You've been influenced by Western culture. I didn't have no textana. You don't care to maintain in the fella utando only hectic from beginning to end of a relationship. You don't care to be calling your girlfriends and your wives 4 times a day, 5 times, 20 times a day, texting all the day long, talking all the day long. I mean, the Bible says a man from now on must leave his mother, his father, cleave to his wife, and the two become one flesh. So if anfunukuba one flesh, and I mean when you're one flesh with somebody, you're walking around with them all the day long. When they get a headache, you get a headache. So like in Korean culture, frankly, you're wearing the same sneakers and the same t-shirt. You're wearing the same sneakers and you're wearing the same t-shirt. And if at all, people are gonna look at you as a man like you as a simp for being that tight with a chick, because they did that with my ex. And if as a woman, other ladies gonna have to act like a relationship like that is not enviable, covetable, and so worth the while to try and emulate, for me to Timbuktu, because now I apparently expect too much in a relationship. And then when I vocalize my dissatisfaction with itling rap, yeah, I'm acting awry. Listen, Niti Karabo, you share too much, you're doing too much. Listen, some issues must be raised. Because then if they don't get raised, when is a relationship ever gonna heal? When is a nation ever gonna heal? When are y'all ever gonna fall off of me? When umuntu leaves you with 2 ticks on WhatsApp for 5 hours. Ale apparently allegedly mama rato. It don't make no kind of sense. I'm not trying to wake up in the morning after taking a shower and not find a text message from the guy that I'm with. So go on with your weird relationships that are out here making like Antarctica. But I'll wait on Jesus. But you see, it's in desiring that and demanding it. And women knowing deep down inside that they want it, however, are not getting it in their relationships. And so because they are trying to be content with that which you ought not be content about. Bese ni hlukumeza mina. Ukarabo the artist. Belitong hlukumeza na ke le artist gakana. Ke artist. Lang hlukumeza. It's ka her. All this time I've been an artist. And all this time I've been an activist. All this time. You done seen it? Because back then I was the one always lamenting about the things that were raiding and riddling all of y'all, plaguing you. Like some mumps and everything. Facebook because you were holding on for dear life to boyfriends that didn't make sense. And when mine was acting a fool, many call her out. Too much. Same dude, because just like when I was 17, out here priding myself in the fact that I'm a rechte, hey? Na megazi pride indaba ukuthi amadoda bamu congratulate for ungilimaza. Other men congratulated him for not being so much of a simp where I was concerned. And he lost me. So I mean, I live on that needs to actually be injecting this ecosystem nge bandage. Can you inject something with a bandage? I could say. Do you not see that this here environment, this here ecosystem needs some medication? You are not rightly expecting as you ought. You are settling. And that's why that are sirening an alarm on a rooftop. Ni right zinsha. Into izinto ngizikhulumayo zi-right cause bona jwanong bana ba etang ka ba le rate ba le korobele hakakang ba le korobela ha botlhoko hakakang ha ba batle go le rata hure ka nnete as basadi ba tenga le roro mara ba le batla le mo jarateng ba le batla le basadi that are gonna pride yourself in a 30th wedding anniversary mara kwa ena o gotleletseng yoko while dude was the one that was wreaking all that havoc in your life. Bese kuthiwa umtshado unama trials nama tribulations kanti uye a trial uye a tribulation ayedwa nje and you're the one enduring them. You zonda me for ukhuluma iqiniso and for being content. Noma ngimdala kangaka, noma sengikhule kangaka, noma sengiguga kabuhlungu kanje na, ingenamuntu. I won't settle. Because ever since I was a kid, I was an angst. I had cognitive dissonance pertaining what I was out here observing. And I could not take it in my stride. Lenyongo. Woo! Who in the world out here in these streets be out here contenting themselves with indoda? Always coming back to boomerang to you, kodwa. Let everybody else. We are living in an era where epidemics or STDs are just super skyrocketing high and high. And now STDs wakhona STDs wakhona awapheleli nje in the nether regions, but ningawathola even from ungabuza. So this exchange of fluids nje kalula, where umuntu is just everywhere kissing everyone in this era of so many STDs, including ones that you can get kamolomo, boma oral herpes. So kazanizone ntlelinse le chenchi sana habutloko sibaka se sikaka ha se jona go confirmilo hore monna hana oral whatever, so you can kiss him from here to Timbuktu kungabi nama issues. At most, if at all, your husband is susceptible to flu sores, maybe you might get a flu sore, but really, you kind of wear them all, right? Mara, asite jona go exchange ana mati, ebe motho ababotlhoko mo molomong, abelediso mo molomong. Exchange ana down below, and then now you're itching down there ke gwang. Belego di phira ka taba we have advanced medically. So wonke umuntu uyadla ama-ARV nama-antibiotics la emgaqweni. I'm sorry you have settled. And izinto that you have settled for. Mina as ukurabo sizashkelele and shudlongwani. Since ngiyinqosi shem. I've been in angst about lenyongo, and later on when I became a little bit older, I was like, I'm not gonna take it. Kodwa, in saying I'm not gonna take it, as a little bit more grown woman, however lost, menhlala ngilwa ne-outi ingathi ngiku-unati dealing with uzola. Yangiqaphukisa. Selekephiza mensahanje banokol. She's just again I'm not addressed, I'm not belas. I went from accepting trash to I don't want to accept trash, but because I don't want to accept it, I'm always ping-ponging with a boyfriend. No, what the heck, it's toxic. And because you've got strong feelings for a guy, you ought to be settling for him rather than being with someone that, though your feelings are not as strong for him as you've been with other people, he is stable, he is safe, and he's not going to endure you through those trials and tribulations that are strangely one-sided. And you are under a curse, but I didn't do it. From now on, your desire will be for your husband, and you will run with nothing but passions. Amadoda awekho very wise when they're not in Christ. That's why the Proverbs are written for them, because they are the ones who have got a propensity towards uklanya. When random seductresses are all up in their grill, how in the world do you go and marry umfazi mengangafuni when you had nothing? Uhambile wamchata as soon as wayenza imali. Because he wanted to flex. He wanted to say, which I can finally get the woman that I wanted when she did not want me, that did not want me when I had nothing. How are you gonna go marry a woman that didn't want you when you had nothing? There's no wisdom in men unless they are led by God. Do you understand? There's no wisdom in amadota unless the Lord God Almighty uyabasiza. So this is the only thing that makes sense over here. There was no way I was gonna get it in a country that thinks that it's too close for comfort for a guy to text you 4 times in an hour. There was no way I was ever going to get what I wanted when I live in an environment that is so hugely influential over men, enough to make them think that something good is too much. I was never going to make it. I had to be extracted. I had to move to another nation. I had to. If at all I was going to find love. So I mean, it makes sense that I'm 41, turning 42 with no husband. I was never going to get one in South Africa. It's as warped as Western culture. Y'all's relationships don't make no kind of sense. You're expecting a ride or die husband while you don't expect ride or die boyfriends. How in the world is that guy gonna suddenly transition into something much better now that you're married? Before lenyalo nje fela ke formality ya lebone ke ntho e banna ba etsang abagola ba batla go lo tlhomphelwa taba gore he is somebody's husband, kodwa they have still maintained ubu-childish lobo. So njengoma ngicanga ukuthi amadoda azo suddenly love you now that you're married, and boni that's why ukuthi ningiphikisa kabuhlungu kanje na. Except what I'm talking about right now, I've been saying it for a minute. I've been saying it since I was afraid and petrified. Sorry, I had to sing. Since I was just out of my teens. When I was a teenager, I wouldn't vocalize that which was a burning fire in my heart. But once I became a young professional woman that's, a little bit wiser, I was like, no, I don't want to take it. But me saying I don't want to take it met me with a lot of passive aggression from all of y'all. Because y'all wanted me to settle for some trash, you know what I'm saying? With all your cancerous generational curses. Na advise wa ngomunye umngani wami. Batho bana graba how about deserve it? It's a blog umngani wami. Mara, it didn't work. I didn't know how those worked. And I came back and kept on speaking my mind on a Facebook full of crazy people that don't like to see some talent. I miss them. Lerata mediocrity, out here chilling, stagnated in the middle of in the center of the normal distribution. Lerata mediocrity, lerata dinto hadisa shaky. Oof. Jwanong bona bana balona. Kaje, the way nja fela ba tswa fanga teng go rata basadi. Ba busy ntse bang luera na. Nkare ke fishi ka hook. bona jwanong banna ba lona are trying to make me na the way batswafa ngakhona sis ukuthi ngibashele bafuna ukuthi mina ngibashele ngoba ngina 42 babatla ho ngikhuhlisa hore ke banqenye the way batswafa ukuthanda ngakhona the way nje fela umsebenzi ngakhona to care for umfazi bafuna ukuthi mina ngiyobashela bachadile abanye banenqulasa ngizobayenza yo the way le ba khothaditseng ka teng banna bana bantse batswafa ba sa le cater dinisa lona jwanong batella prospective mistresses batella basadi ba leng single ba emeng batella basadi ba sa joleng le bona batella basadi ba ba batlang ba sebedisa ditlhare ho force basadi hore ba shele bona they want women groveling at their feet. What the heck? You are men. You are supposed to pursue. Woo. Hey. And then lona he le bashels ba le jisisa alkata bele bashela because you thought ukuthi umsebenzi wakho uyokuka I relationship manje indoda uyishelile kaze when is he ever going to put his best foot forward kaze when is he going to pull out all the stops kaze when is he going to feel it important to ukuncenga njengoma mesile up when those are your men and they're so nasty. Ooh, they stink. That God had to move me to another country altogether. And so now my husband, or an Asian. Listen, I don't mind marrying a Korean. I don't. But I am is somebody from another culture that has not been marred by trash. Because Nina, and your toxins in your body have made you convulse on the spot and lose your senses, your wits and your mind, your bearings. Anisena mao. Ashindene eretu alisana di ho so tshwantse ke tsamaya mara bona le khutlisitse mosadi o tshabang gore lo nkela degree ya ka ya COVID le tletse ka sabotage tshwantse ke go Korea a ke tsebe go fitla jwang da mara ke teng I gotta leave this country and I don't know what age I'm gonna get married kodwa ngiyazi ukuthi ngiyotshadwa ayikhwenye indlela ngoba that's the only way to prove ukuthi kuyaphunywa kuyaphumeka out of this rut that you all are in. It is possible to conquer it. It is possible ukuthola uthando olubonakalayo. As women, it is possible to satiate the angst in your body that is rightly placed, that it's not supposed to be like this. I knew that as a teenager. But my encircling environment of females were like, sabi girl. As if though that is like Sisi Nana type vibes. It is a Sisi Nana type eventuality. Into ya go complimenta e o ka nnete. Nkare re Jewisitse ka yona nkare ke Christmas o tlo Jewisha ka boregte in an era of the STD o serious o tlo Jewisha ka ho ba medi in this time of exquisite mental illness in women because abatse go ba etseng ka bana ba teng o zo Jewisha ngobumedi nyenpe o zo Jewisha ngobumain chick. Ooh, guys, nna ke tshilo ka re se ke le kotsi jwanong a ke tshwere dithipa ngayabulala indoda that after ukumaga phlunga nje na sonke lesikhathi angishitele nkamulaya mamela nkamontsha. Lights out. I don't have capacity anymore for lezinja. I don't. I came close to something that makes sense. And so because of indaba yokuthi even a guy that's better than most went awry to this freaking tidal wave. This time around, I'm waiting on Jesus because I'm not trying to have a dude that can quit alcohol and tell some chick that is his side chick, you're cheating on me with her. 2-3 a.m. and tell her to get off. For the sake of salvaging a relationship with me. Then later on going as awry as he finally ultimately went, even though he was severely convicted. And then even when they realize in themselves I can't afford to lose karab. At some point, listen, they lose karab. Just boomerangs and goes back to dirt. Ain't nobody gonna keep a man in a bunch other than Jesus, do you understand? Ain't nobody gonna give a woman what she needs other than Christ, do you understand? Because these dudes are so freaking influential over other men, the way to a point of trying to make women sit on their threshing floors like Ruth. They want women to grovel at their feet. That's always a chick. Baby, I'm sorry, listen, I'll do right. That's gonna straighten up, fly right. Because I can't lose my woman. Then go back to losing that woman. How about what happened? Yo, Abuti, I don't know what's going on over there, okay? Listen, don't nobody know. But I do know that Jesus Christ is the only way. That I'm not gonna get a dude that's gonna do better because he sees that he's messing up, but then get influenced by some sataniana wabuloyi happy. I mean, listen, you want to be complimented more by your boys than by your girl. How proud your woman is of you is of less weight than how proud your boys are of you. And since your boys lack virtue, women are screwed. Since your boys lack scruples, women are in danger. Since your boys think it's totally kosher, my feelings for something so important as a woman. Don't nobody out you do anything right other than to ugumela ujesu. Otherwise uzoshelwa ngenkani ngekorobela ngamadoda azoqulela imiqulo engayenzi sense. But I have never met you. Njengana fela ya satani esa go tshwaneleng e korte e khutswane e tlo go etsa gore o gopole every ex you've ever had. Antsa go binela I tell myself you don't mean nothing. Who are you? Has the kholowa ga botlhoko ga kana mo mzansi ebe nota ere and what we got. Who are you? I don't know you. Got no hold on me, but when you're not there I just crumble. Who are you? When your nation is so freaking bizarre that men that don't know you think they can sing you this song? I mean, don't you see? I gotta go. Listen, say for fun, skip anything is waiting for me. I gotta go. And my Sumantler is gonna give me power. Ugamba. Jongani zinjandini. Ningibuyisile ngemithi yenu. Angibuyanga because of imithi, ngibuye ngoba ngiqeda ikhosi yami of which you are grasping at straws. Cause anazi ukuthi ngenzani. And you sure I've been posting old content, reposting. You're grasping at straws, saying ask afetsa khubala because clearly this thing ayetsang is going to take her away from us. Dalang qedile. Manje, I'm just twiddling my fingers. I'm waiting for my certificate. You said I'm gonna fail. Ooh, that's another thing. Listen, you be out here messing with your artists. A whole bunch of you women and men alike. Did a spell to delay me, to slow me down, to make me not work, and happy or fail. And among the people that did a spell to make me fail is Yana Lex and It was so hard to study because of these demonic attacks. I was so sleepy throughout it all. It's the TEFL course that from what God showed me, Umari Mabi is not doing it. Wahlanya usi. Utlong natela morao. Hayo tshwanele pleke o tlo yang go yona. How to behave? Culture ya ko Korea. How to behave? I get a degree, so I get to Honahoya until I get my degree. I spoke about that in my earlier parts and indeed in the 14+ series that's up and coming now. So I have to take some time to go. And Marima Abi, otherwise known as Matlakala, otherwise known as Chick from back in the day that I think slept with one of my exes. Sis.